Should you rent an e-bike? Good question. Maybe I can answer some of your questions on the e-bikes. So I'm at the top of the island, and hey, there goes an e-bike. If that e-bike goes to Mallory Square, that's the furthest point he could possibly go to. It's going to take him probably 15, 18 minutes to get there. If you're riding a bike, a regular bike, it'll take you probably 25 minutes to get there. So that's the difference between the two. About 7 or 8 minutes e-bike to regular bike. If you go the other way, if you go down the beach, all the way around the beautiful beach, take your time, the e-bike will take about probably 25 minutes and a regular bike 35 minutes. I mean, e-bikes are faster, but they still have to stop for all the stop signs and traffic lights and different stuff. So just keep that in mind. Are e-bikes dangerous? And I would say not the ones that are rented to people down here. Are they more dangerous than a regular bike? Yes, because they go faster, they're heavier. People who rent them don't have experience with higher speed, heavy vehicles. But they're pretty much safe as far as I'm concerned. But we've had incidents with e-bikes here, but it's generally been the locals, some pretty bad ones. The one thing you should worry about with an e-bike, though, they do catch fire. So I'm not saying that yours will catch fire, but we've had a few fires here in Key West. And make sure if you're charging your e-bike in the hotel room that you don't put it between yourself and the door, because you got to get out, and you can't put those e-bike fires out. They don't go out with water or anything else. So keep that in mind. The other thing about e-bikes, like that one, is that locals definitely find them annoying, because they're always speeding around and not giving warnings, and they're just basically going too fast for the sidewalks. And you might wonder why there's so many, and it's because the whole workforce of Key West, almost all of it, has moved up to the next island. So they're all commuting the cheapest way, which is e-bikes, down here from 6 miles, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 miles down. They're coming down even further. That's who you're seeing on the e-bikes around here. And that's why you see so many. So there are about 3 or 4 different e-bike rental companies in Key West, and a lot of golf cart companies. But as far as the e-bikes and what they cost, you're looking at about $40 to $50, depending on which company you choose. And that's per day. So if you get 3 e-bikes and you get them for 3 days, it's going to run you about $405. If you get 3 BikeMan bikes, for instance, it's going to cost about $90. So $405, $90, and you will save a little time, but is it worth it? And the other thing is, it's not so bad to go a little slower when you're in a beautiful area. I mean, we got the little sharks down in the water over here. You can see them in the morning, manatees. So I guess it's all what you're into. This is a typical rental bike, electric bike that they rent, the Aventon or whatever. And you can see how big the wheels are. And they can't park it in the rack over here because the normal bike racks are just the little slats. They don't accept motorcycle tires, basically. So parking them can be kind of an issue. And just getting them onto the curb, that thing is almost 100 pounds. So it's a little motorcycle, basically, or a scooter. And so you have to be careful that it doesn't fall on you when you're trying to park it. And you've got to look for specific parking places for these things, because they're not as easy to park as a regular bike. Just a consideration. Parking's tough with these things. Another thing to consider is if you get your e-bike stolen, if you have a pair of e-bikes, that's going to run you about $4,000 or $5,000 because those things are expensive. I mean, bikes are expensive. Bikes cost, I don't know, $350, $400, but man, you're going to be out $5,000 if you get it stolen. And we do have bike theft, e-bike theft on the island. They give you good locks, most of the places, but something to think about. As you can see, I'm in the cemetery. Beautiful place to bike around. Good way to get across town. Also, this is about the middle of Old Town. So Old Town is where all the historic stuff is. It's where if you're a tourist or visiting, this is where you're going to be hanging out. So if I go straight ahead, I'll hit the water in half a mile. If I go right, I'll hit the water in half a mile. If I go left, I'll hit the water in half a mile. If I go backwards, I'll hit the water in half a mile. Then I go backwards. See? No, I'm just kidding. But you get the picture. So if you want to make a left or right or straight or backwards, you've got about 4 minutes on a regular bike to get to the end of the island, and maybe 3 minutes on an e-bike because they're faster. So. Not really, a little bit of overkill for an e-bike in Old Town for sure. Final thoughts, should you rent an e-bike in Key West? And I would say, if you're staying in Old Town where everything mostly is, it's only a mile by a mile, so e-bike is complete overkill. If you're staying, way at the top of the island, and you're not very physical, you don't want to pedal 4 miles in and 4 miles out, then yeah, maybe you should get an e-bike. But, it's really not that far. If you're staying off the island, yeah, maybe get an e-bike. And then the other reason you might want to consider, they are expensive, 4 times as much as a regular bike. They're cumbersome, they're a bit more dangerous. So I would say no to e-bikes, to e-bike rentals.